Shooting out a tire is prohibited.
What about spikes on the road?
That's a very big concern. Wow.
Today on The Lens, we're gonna witness cops trying to arrest someone who's crashing his car all over the place. Greg, are you ready for this? Because this is your area of expertise.
I am ready for this. Let's do it.
Think your day's rough?
I got the shoot.
Try chasing down a raging, on-the-run, cop-ramming suspect. Hell-bent on breaking away.
No!
Even if it means busting up his own truck, police vehicles, and anything in his path.
Get out!
You're watching Miami-Dade police body camera video obtained exclusively by 7 News.
Hands! Show me your hands! Show me your hands!
It shows the cops' point of view as they chased the wanted Kevin Paul Prater, who they say turned his pickup into a weapon to avoid capture. A pea-brained plan that failed miserably and ended with Prater laid up on a stretcher, headed to the hospital, then jail.
Get out the car!
Members of the Miami-Dade PD's priority response team tried stopping him here.
Not comply, bro, not comply.
But he wasn't cooperating and sped off.
Hit it!
They eventually caught up with him at Southwest 41st Street and 72nd Ave. He appeared boxed in, but that's when the bumper car hysteria started. He rams an occupied Cadillac, peels out, and goes full demolition derby mode, crashing into police cruisers with reckless, lawless abandon.
Show me your hands!
Officers had their guns and other tools at the ready, showing restraint with their lives and the lives of others on the line. Like Prater's own father, who had a front row passenger's seat to his son's smashing exploits. But in the end, the dinged-up suspect was cuffed and now faces more serious charges after a bang-up day.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, one thing that I was wondering is, like, I see a cop holding a shield. I don't see how much that can protect you against the car.
No, that's a ballistic shield. So I don't know if what's the background of this guy? Does he have a gun? You know, does he have a history of using firearms? That's why the cop had that.
Okay, so it had nothing to do with protecting himself from a vehicle.
No, it's zero protection against a car. But small arms fire, definitely, you know, the shields are gonna. Yeah, it's kind of surprised. Like I said, there's probably a reason. I mean, they may have background. What is this guy wanted for? Do we know?
Yeah, they just say an arrest warrant for stalking and other charges.
Okay.
Other charges is a broad range of things, right?
For what they were dealing with. I mean, he wasn't holding that to deflect a car or anything, if that's what you were wondering.
Okay, so what did they do right? What did they do wrong? What would you have done? What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, that's just a textbook example of utter chaos. And I think they were doing the best that they could with what they had going on. I mean, you know, you got 5,000 pounds of metal thrashing about. I mean, there's really very little they could have done. I mean, if you're going to, you know, like there's a one LA pursuit where the suspect was driving a van, and it was very similar activity. You know, he was ramming things. There's a scene where the officer pulls in behind that van, and then the guy rams him out. If you're going to position your car to try to prevent a car from backing out, you need to actually make contact with that car so they don't have any, you know, it restricts their momentum.
What about shooting out their tires? Can you shoot the tires or no?
Well, that's a departmental thing. I know that, like my department, shooting out a tire is prohibited, and shooting at a moving vehicle is generally prohibited. And when I see a vehicle, like when I see cops diving out of the way from a vehicle, like you kind of see the officers running out of the path as he's backing out, I think there's a strong argument that you could have shot the driver, you know, like used deadly force against the driver. But we have that caveat of the passenger. His father was riding shotgun, and so he's probably an innocent bystander. And so that's a very big concern, which is probably why they did not shoot the driver of that van, the pickup truck. But based on just the limited footage that I saw there in that parking lot, especially there was that one scene where he's backing out, tires were burning out, and you could see the deputy or the officer running out of the way. I think it would be easy to articulate that he was using the pickup truck as a weapon, which is a deadly weapon. So I think if the father wasn't in the passenger seat, I would have taken a shot.
But I don't know what are the vehicles exactly in front of him and in back of him, but like, just say you have the suspect's car, you have a civilian's car. Could you take another car and try to plow, like box him in, use a police cruiser to narrow the gap?
Yeah, you could do that. Again, a lot of that hinges on department policies as far as barricading vehicles. A lot of agencies don't allow you to do that. I know we weren't allowed to use our, to roadblock cars, but this is a different circumstance where you're just trying to prevent them from maybe leaving a parking lot. We would push our cars up against other vehicles, to prevent them from leaving. That would have been an option. There's a lot of, like I said, that was a very dynamic scene. Things were happening really, really fast.
What about spikes on the road?
If they had stopped, well, there's two systems that are used prevalently in law enforcement. There's what are called spike strips, which are it's like an accordion thing that slides out with a bunch of spikes. And then there's what are called stop sticks, which I think most agencies in the United States that use those use stop sticks. Yeah, that would have definitely been an option. If someone had stop sticks, that would have been a very easy deployment. Just toss those behind the pickup. You would have ran over them. Based on what I saw, I'm sure he would have continued driving. You see, there's videos on YouTube all over the place of pursuits where stop sticks were deployed and the car's running on rims. But that's fine. It slows them down. It reduces traction on the road, keeps them from going too fast. That would have been a great option if they had those, to drop some stop sticks behind the car. I think that's what I would have done first, actually, is we carry those. And that's the other thing. Does that agency carry stop sticks or spike strips? Do they even have those? I'm guessing they do in Florida. I did some training in Jacksonville, Florida. I want to say they had those.
Well, all in all, I find that the cops showed quite a bit of restraint by not firing on the suspect. Even after the father left the car, because you saw there was a point where he was able to get out of the car.
Well, there's so many factors involved when if you make the decision to, you're definitely not going to shoot at a car as it's going away from you. You know what I mean? Because the threat against you is now gone. But as the car was coming at you or at one of your fellow officers, it would have been, I think, easier to justify shooting at the car under those circumstances. But once it's driving away, then that particular threat is gone. You have threat against the public. And I don't know, again, some agencies allow the pit maneuver, some don't. There are all sorts of, like I said, pursuits are very scary, and because you have such little control over what the suspect driver is thinking, what he's going to do, his skill level.
And have you ever been in a situation similar to that? Like, it looks like there's not a lot of space where you're dealing with a bunch of vehicles in a closed quarters.
Yeah, I've been in I haven't been in situations where like that crazy, where the car, the driver was like, it looked like he was intentionally trying to run over the deputies or the police officers. But I've been in situations where the suspect vehicle was, ramming other vehicles. And I've used my car in the past to push up against a car to keep them from doing that. But I haven't been anything like that crazy. I mean, I've been in pursuits with a stolen bus. I've been in a pursuit with a stolen tank, which is probably the craziest. I mean, way crazier than this. But nothing specifically like that.
So what do you think that specific police department could learn from this incident moving forward?
If they don't have stop sticks or spike strips, some type of tire deflation device, I would consider implementing that. Other than that, that's definitely not the norm. That's one of the a 1%, you know, 1 out of 100 type situations they were in. So I really don't think, I think they did the best they could do with what they had. And again, public safety is always the primary concern. You know, you have to consider backdrops too if you are shooting. What are the bullets that aren't hitting the intended target going to hit? So, you know, you have cops all over the place, so there may have been other officers in the backdrop, you know. So I think with what they had to deal with, I think they did a pretty good job. And ultimately, he was taken into custody. So,
well, as always, thank you for giving your amazing insight. Till next time, everyone, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and check out these other great videos.